Team of Fluent Artists, welcome. We are live. Type your name, where you from in the chat. Make sure I can hear you. I got my chat up over here on the right. Want to make sure that you can hear me, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get into selling art online because I know that is why you are here. All right. Type of one in the chat if you want to sell some art online, if you're ready to get rocking and rolling. All right. We're going to get started in a few minutes sharp, but I want to just show you some sales, some proof of what artists are doing right now to sell their art online in any economy. All right. So we saw that $2,000 sale by Tierra. Man, Jasmine, she sold $15,800 in 20 days. All right. Less than a month. Shout out to Jasmine. Another one, she set a goal for $5,000 for the month. End up selling $5,527 worth of art in the week. There goes some cash from Miss Joe. More sales from Jasmine and Tierra. Man, one of my favorite stories. Tierra taught her children how to sell their art. King Art with a sale. Jonte Drew with a $2,000 piece. All right, so artists are selling their art online all over the world with this system, okay? And so if you're ready to sell some art, man, if you want to become a full-time artist or you want to sell your first or your next piece online, whether you transitioning from another career or selling offline, you are in the right place. I'm going to show you exactly how to sell your art online in any economy. All right, so come in again, type your name, where you from in the chat. Want to make sure that you can hear me. And we're going to get started just sharing proof of what artists are doing right now. Miss Raquel right there with a sale. Tierra with another sale. All right, there go Miss Joy with some of that Canadian cash on the table. Brittany got a smaller sale right there. All right, so let's get into it. So, a fluent artist, listen, if you are here, I know you want to sell your art online and you are in the right place, okay? And so, man, I know it can be hard, difficult, and frustrating trying to figure out what tools and system to use. How do you post online to get sales? And we know that the art industry has tried to block artists out of being successful for years, man. But I'm here to show you a new opportunity to start selling your art right now. And I want to illustrate just how powerful this is by talking about Jasmine Tompkins. All right, she's an affluent artist, and I'm gonna share a little bit of her story. She said, "Let me put this into perspective for you guys. For years, I gave away my art for free. I joined Affluent Artists January last year. 1 year ago, I was still selling most of my original art for $200, and my biggest sale this time last year was $500 to a hospital. This month, if I make no more money for the next 10 days, I will have total to make $15,800. I am floored. I never thought this was possible for me." All right, type one in the chat if you like to sell over $15,000 in 20 days. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? Good to see you, Stephanie, Cindy. All right. And so, man, this is a new opportunity for visual artists just like you to begin selling your art. All right. So regardless of people try to discourage you from being successful, I'm here to show you that you can make a living and become a full-time artist. And so my goal with this presentation is very simple. I want to help you become an affluent artist. And so we're going to help two types of artists here. If you are a new artist, you get a step-by-step blueprint on how to create art that sells itself on Instagram so you can become an affluent artist that collectors love to buy and tell everyone about. If you are a master artist among us, you'll get the affluent artist secrets on how to smoothly transition to selling your art online at higher prices, keep more of your money, and get the worldwide recognition and status you deserve from the art industry. Then every affluent artist gets access to the brand new artwork app that makes it simple to sell your art and keep collectors buying over and over again. All right. And so this new opportunity is key to your desire to consistently sell art online. And it's only achievable by becoming an affluent artist. And so if I help you become an affluent artist so you can make more money selling art, will you promise to spend a little bit of that with me and my company in the future? Just type yes in the chat. All right. And so my name is Sharess. And like many of you, I've been an artist my entire life. So that picture at the top left, that's little Sharess, man. I used to love drawing all of the cartoon characters, the cereal boxes. I remember, man, I drew a fair share of Ninja Turtles growing up. And so I've always loved art. And then for my son's first birthday, I drew this self-portrait of the two of us. And he absolutely loved it. He still has this. And then I'm also a hooper. I played basketball. I love basketball. I played Division I college basketball. And so I love assisting others and helping people get wins, okay? Now, when I was in college, though, I didn't have any collectors, sales skills, you could forget about it. And then I had a tragedy. My house burned down the day after Christmas. My family and I lost everything, and I ended up losing all of my art. And so I became a starving artist dropout in 2007. As you can imagine, I had really low confidence, especially losing everything. It was still really hard to sell art. I hadn't figured out my sales skills yet. And breaking in the art industry, man, you could really forget about it. It was so difficult to get access to shows and galleries and representation. And so I became obsessed with mastering business online. I said I had to figure this out. Now, I knew the first thing that I needed was a mentor, right? I needed someone who had gone through this process and made money online to teach me so I could shortcut my journey. And so I ended up writing a letter to 19 multimillionaires. One of them was my guy, Mike Koenigs, right here. And we ended up, he hired me to work on his product launch, and we ended up making $1,800,000 in just 7 days. Okay. So that's almost $2 million in a single week working with Mike. And I wrote my #1 best-selling business book, How to Create Lifetime Customers, all about that process of selling your products and services online using the internet and the power of mobile technology. Okay, so I'm going to show you all exactly what I took years learning, helping people sell millions online. And I've also helped celebrities like Cynthia Bailey launch her products and services. And I've helped a lot of creators just like you make money. Now, even with all of this success, I still had dreams of being a full-time artist for myself, right? Type 1 in the chat if you know what it's like to work a job, but you still have dreams of doing your art full-time. Now, then I had an epiphany. I said, I meet so many artists that have this feast of famine income roller coaster, but that only means that you don't have a consistent flow of collector leads and sales. Then I was like, what would happen if I applied these #1 best-selling internet marketing and sales principles to fine art? And so I had a crazy plan. I said, I'm going to host my very first art event with the goal to sell out the show. And so we did just that, man. We put on an incredible event. I had a lot of collectors come through, and we had a really fun time. The wine, the hors d'oeuvres, and this is how we sold a piece for $2,000 at that very first event. Type yes in the chat if you would like to sell a piece for $2,000 or more at your first or next event. All right. Now, this is my friend Melissa Mitchell. She was one of the that show. And if you don't know her, man, she has a really dope brand. Check her out. But she said, flashback to this dope art investors event by Sheress May. All of these pieces sold and have already doubled in value. Now, while we're at this event selling art, I realized that we had some very real problems. So first was the cost. Like doing it the old way, it cost me $5,000 up front of my own money out of my own pocket. And the other thing I realized was artists were really using anything to take payments, right? Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, Square, PayPal, taking hard cash. And the most important thing is you want to start making money and selling your art. But this left all of our sales disorganized. Everything was hard to track. Plus, we could not easily follow up with the collectors that have just spent thousands of dollars with us. And if someone sends you some money on, say, a tool like Cash App, man, you don't get the collector's phone number. You generally don't get their email address. And you absolutely do not get the credit card information so you can follow up and easily make a second sale. And so this is what inspired the Affluent Artist movement. Because I couldn't find a solution, I had to create a new way for you to have 100% unlimited access to your collector's information and a tool that makes everything easy to sell your art online and offline. And so as an affluent artist, you need one system that accepts payments up to $1 million. You should be able to easily sell your art anywhere, whether that's in person or online. Ideally, you want to track your artwork, your sales, and your collector's information in one place. We want to make it simple for collectors to buy your art with one click. So think how we buy things on Amazon. And then collectors should be able to track their net worth in your art so they can see the value of you as an artist. And we want to automate a system that brings collectors to you so we're not out chasing people to buy our art all the time. And so, man, back to the first art show results. Now, I did not reach my goal of selling 100% of the artwork, but we did sell 2/3 of the art. All right. Most importantly, every artist sold art and made money. I was really proud of that. And we had sales of $500, $1,500, and one artwork sold for $2,000. Okay. And so, man, we took this show on the road. And so this is me and some of my friends. We were down in Miami for Art Basel because I was consulting some artists on how to sell more of their art at Art Basel, right? And so we were having success selling our art offline. And then I thought to myself, like, what would happen if we started really applying these principles to selling art on the internet? And so, man, we got to work. And so here's Chris Smith. She had 13 art sales from a small list of only 32 collectors. Type yes in the chat if you like to send one email to a small list of say 30 or so collectors and sell 13 pieces of art. Just type yes in the chat if you like to accomplish a result like that. I see Jacob said yes. All right. And so then here's Santana. She got a $360 commission. And so this stuff really started to work. Dwayne, he said he sold another piece like Gone Like the Wind, the $365 sale right there. And so artists, if you've struggled in the past, listen, it is not your fault. I went to college for the College of Art and Design, and I had some incredible art teachers that helped me become a better artist. And I was really inspired by a lot of my classmates, but they didn't teach you how to sell your art. They don't teach you how to market yourself and get new collectors. And they don't really teach you how to have a successful career outside of college, right? And so after we started getting more success selling art online, I knew that I wanted to expand to start selling to collectors like around the country or even around the globe, okay? But the solution was really hard and expensive to create. And so I ended up blowing over $30,000 and over a year hiring two dev teams to create artwork that didn't finish the app. I invested every penny to my name, so I thought about giving up. But I knew going back to the old way wouldn't work for me because I had just tried it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to find one more dev team and I'm going to try one more time. So listen, Affluent Artist, the artwork app and the automated collector system I created, it started working so well that many artists were selling art within 7 days. And so here's Kira. She's one of the youngest affluent artists to start selling in the program quickly. She sold, she was 18 and she sold a piece in the first 19 hours after we taught her how to sell. We were really blown away at how fast she started selling art because she was just getting started with her drawing and she didn't have any skills selling art. And then here's Affluent Artist Z. He said, I haven't had a chance to report on my record-breaking success this past week. Type yes in the chat if you like to sell 7 prints and get 8 commission deposits in 1 week like Z. I should see the yes coming through. I see some yeses coming through. All right. And then here's Affluent Artist Jen. She has one of my favorite stories. She's a single mother of 4 kids, and she sold a piece in a little over 24 hours using the method that we're about to show you right now. Okay. And then she continued to work on her art business and her brand. And next thing you know, she was at Art Basel selling this piece for $5,840. Type yes in the chat if you like to go to Art Basel and sell a piece at a show like Jen right here. All right. And then again, because she kept working on her business and she kept selling art, she actually got invited to Sotheby's to attend the Art Business Institute of Art. Like this was a mind-blowing experience. She said she felt like she was in heaven because she was learning from some of the biggest art brands in the world, Sotheby's and Christie's, okay? And so type yes in the chat if you'd like to go over to London to learn directly from Sotheby's and Christie's, and they're selling billions a year worth of art, all right? I see you with the yes, please. So listen, artists, this is the truth. After creating artwork and helping all kinds of artists around the world transform into affluent artists, I realized we no longer had to wait for galleries to accept us. We didn't have to wait on word of mouth to sell art, nor did we need a big following on social media. That old way of being a starving artist was dead, okay? Man, we were entering a new era of everyone becoming a affluent artist. And so this is your golden ticket to a full-time successful art career. Type me in the chat if you want to become a full-time artist, okay? All right, if you're just starting to learn how to paint, you are in the right place, okay? And I think everyone is an artist, man. An artist is just being a creator. You don't have to know how to do it to create, man. Just start practicing, get in the game. You'll be amazed at the type of art that can get sold, okay? Now, in order for us to do this, affluent artists, I need something from you. And it's simple. I need you to believe, all right? Because I will give you the solutions to become a full-time affluent artist, but you have to believe you can and put it into action, most importantly, all right? Because nothing hurts me more than giving you the game, then seeing you weeks, months, or years later clinging to the same starving artist problems, all right? And so if you want to start to set sales goals and exceed those goals, right? Instead of falling short or just hitting it, we are actually exceeding these goals like Brisha. Type yes in the chat. She said for the first quarter this year, I set a goal to make $12,000. As of today, I'm super happy to have hit $13,000 instead. Keep going, affluent artist motivation. I see the yeses coming through. All right. Now, because of this success that we were having helping so many different artists around the world, some senators in the country of Barbados, they flew me in to help them come up with a plan to help those artists access a global marketplace of collectors. And so a few years back when the pandemic was around us, people stopped traveling, tourism had ended, and the artists weren't able to really sell their art. And so they brought me in so they could use artwork to start accessing collectors outside of the island. Okay. And so we're just having massive success helping artists. We've also been invited to speak at BlackRock on investing in art. Okay. And BlackRock is one of the biggest private equity asset managers in the company with over $10 trillion in assets. And so we also are connected to collectors that love investing in art. All right, type yes in the chat if you're ready to start getting connected to some high net worth collectors that look at your art as an investment. Okay. And so after over 20 years in business and helping artists sell worldwide, type yes in the chat if it's your turn to skip the crazy fees, get repeat collectors, and sell your art online on autopilot. Just type yes in the chat if you're ready to sell your art online on autopilot. I should see the yeses coming through. I see a me coming through. Said I've been an artist since I was a toddler. That's awesome. You are in the right place. All right, let's rock and roll. So because once you discover these 3 secrets, you'll have the keys to get new collectors online so you can accomplish your dream vision for your art. And so Abrisha, man, she also got a $5,008 sale from a new collector online. Type yes in the chat if you want to start selling your art for over $5,000. And Brisha, she's so funny, man. She always put these like weird numbers on the end. So she won't sell a piece for $5,000. It's a $5,008 sale. But listen, I love it because it all adds up. I see the yeses coming through. So listen, these are the 3 secrets to selling art online. Make sure you get your pen and pad because we are going to show you how to sell your art online right now. So secret number 1, how to make your artwork speak for itself and sell for $2,000 or more on Instagram. All right. So let me know if this sounds familiar because I told you I went to Art Basel and I had all of these so-called industry experts really trying to tell me that I couldn't sell my art because I had dropped out of college. No one really knew me. They were telling me, yeah, you might be able to sell for a couple $100s. Just type yes in the chat if anyone has ever tried to discourage you from creating art and fulfilling your art dream. Just type yes in the chat, okay? If you've ever had this experience. Now, I wasn't afraid because I knew this one very important secret, and that's success leaves clues, okay? And so let's play a quick little game called Could You Do It Better? All right, let's have some fun in the chat. Just type yes or no in the chat if you think you could do this better, okay? This piece right here, man, we got a lot to cover on this piece. I see some yeses coming through. I'm ready. Jacob said he's ready. Let's rock and roll. What's going on? I see the yeses coming through. So let me know if you could do this better. I see a bunch of yeses. All right, there's no right or wrong answer. All right, so artists, why is this piece famous? It is the story of Fluent Artist, all right? And when you create a story for your piece, it has to touch your collector's emotions, okay? And so this is really how you sell your art for higher prices. I know many of us have been told to price our art based on time, like the time it takes us to create it, or the size, right? How big it is. But when you really think about those don't really make sense, right? The time. So we know as an artist, the more you invest into your craft and practice, you get faster and more efficient. And so when you think about it, it doesn't really make sense to price your art based on time because you would eventually be charging less because you are getting work done quicker, right? So that don't really make sense. And then also size. We know some wall art that hangs inside of people's homes is much more valuable than art on the side of a mural on a building, right? And so the way you sell your art for higher prices of Fluent Artist is by creating your very own art story, okay? ART story. This is an acronym, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can use this right now and start selling art after this free class, okay? And now I discovered the secret of the power of the art story at my very first live event with my friend, a Fluent Artist, Melissa Mitchell. And so, man, she is a fluent in every sense of the word. Her art is spectacular. She does a very professional job of presenting the art, and she tells these masterful stories about each one of her pieces. And this is how we were able to sell a piece for $2,000 at that very first event. And so the collector who bought the art from her, he didn't have a clue who she was. He didn't follow her on social media. He had never met her before. He had never heard of her. He didn't know anything about her brand. And so I asked him, I said, listen, why did you invest $2,000 in a piece of art with an artist that you didn't know anything about? And he said, Sharess, the art is great, but it was the story, okay? The art is great, but it was the story. And so if you have this big problem that a lot of artists share, if you're posting your art on social media, whether you're getting a little bit of engagement like this, or you're getting a lot of engagement, but you're not getting any sales, right? All you got to do is add your art story. And so listen, Jasmine, she used to give her art away for free, but once she started using her art story, she was able to pre-sell her art before it was completed. All right. If you want to pre-sell your art before it's done, put pre-sale in the chat. All right. All you got to do is add your art story. She said, I posted this piece that I'm still working on last night, and I sold a pre-order print 9 a.m. this morning. Gratitude. Art story and organic conversation building relationships really work. Here's Miss Raquel Miller. Type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first or next piece for over $1,000. Just type yes in the chat. All right. I see you with the constantly. Let's go. Okay. And then here's Brisha Jones, man. Type yes in the chat if you want to sell a piece for over $6,200. Type yes in the chat. I should see the yeses coming through. And so she was speechless because using the power of her story, she was able to set her sales record, right? She said this was significant because this was the highest art price that I had ever sold, and it was the biggest piece that she had ever sold, a 60 by 48. And so let me read to you a little bit about what these collectors said that inspired them to buy this art. So Brisha was able to break her sales record. So she said, my husband and I had a hard week and an already pretty messed up year. I know we're not special in any regards. Everything seems hard right now for everyone. When my husband and I saw your painting, we first both said, wow, we love that. And then we talked about how it made us feel. Hope, moving out of our comfort zone, leaving a bad year and entering a new place, fearlessness. When we read your thoughts on it as well, it just seemed like we needed it in our home. Thank you for painting this beautiful piece. It will be the conversation piece of the many meals we share with friends as we embrace a new era in the world, one of expanding fearlessness. All right. Type yes in the chat if you see how the power of the art story for this abstract piece, Fearless Expanded, connected with these collectors emotionally and made them want to buy this at any price. I type yes in the chat. It is all about the power of that art story and really connecting with those collectors emotionally. Okay. And so let's go ahead and show you how you can create your very own art story for each one of your pieces. All right. And a quick pro tip, if you need help writing stories, you can use ChatGPT AI to automate a big part of this for you. Okay. So listen, A equals art star. Who's the art star in your art story? Every story has to have a star. Even if you have an abstract piece, you want to create a character around the abstract piece. Okay. And then R equals the role. What's the art star's role in the art story, right? So Brisha Jones' abstract Fearless Expanded, that piece was to help you release your fearless, become more fearless, right? If fearlessness expanded, okay? So that's the role, is to help you become more confident and eliminate your fear. So think about in your art story, what is your art star trying to accomplish, okay? And then T equals the twist. What's the emotional twist in your art story? All right. And so I know most people like a good movie, especially the ones that have you on your edge of your seat. So we can use this element in our visual art as well. So whatever story you're telling visually with your art, make sure you put some good twists and turns in the story so collectors are really excited and interested in the message of your art. Okay. And so let me show you how this piece used the art story framework to sell for a mind-blowing price at auction. Okay. And so A equals the art star. The art star is Dr. Gachet. All right, that's who this portrait is of. This is Dr. Gachet. What's his role? His role is he's Van Gogh's doctor, but then the twist of Flooring Artist is the doctor may have killed Van Gogh, okay? And so you know how people love murder mysteries. Man, everybody be nosy in folks' business, and people were really trying to figure out what happened and what was going on. And so this story became so sensationalized in the media that it actually ended up selling for a record-breaking $82.5 million at Christie's, okay? So now I want to have a little fun in the chat. So I know some artists are here, you want to start selling your first piece. Maybe you want to sell for a couple $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000 or more. But if you want to make millions with your art, put $82.5 M in the chat for me, all right? You can put a money bag emoji. You can put the flying cash. You can put the smiley with the money tongue. Don't matter to me. Just let me know in the chat if you want to make millions with your art, okay? Because I know if they can do it, we can too, because success leaves clues, okay? And so becoming an affluent artist and creating your art story allows your art to truly sell itself for higher prices. Type yes in the chat if you can see how this helps you sell more art. Just type yes in the chat if you can see how this helps you sell more art. Said I'm a writer. Well, you're going to have a great job, easy time doing your art stories, okay? Oh, man, you say you earned an art story. I like the way you framed it. I can't wait to hear your art story, Jacob. All right, I see the 82.5 million coming through. So type yes if you can see how this helps you sell more art, all right? And so artists, this works for you if you are a painter, sculptor, you do acrylic pours, jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, or even AI art, drawings, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It works for all affluent artists at all prices. I see the yeses and the smileys coming through. And so, using the power of her art story, man, Melissa sold 100% of her available artwork at our very first event. All right. So start using your art story today, because this literally will transform your sales for free. Okay. It doesn't cost you anything to start writing stories for each one of your pieces. And again, if you need help, you can use ChatGPT AI to help create the story for you as well. Okay. And so let's get into the next secret of the 3 secrets of selling art online. All right. Secret number 2, how to sell art on autopilot and get collectors to buy with one click on one easy app. I see the yes, yes, yes coming through. Now, I got to tell y'all this quick story of Affluent Artist, because I couldn't believe this happened. But this piece right here represents a transformation in my journey, okay? It was a huge turning point for me. So I ended up running into one of my classmates from the College of Art and Design, and he invited me to his art show. All right, so I'm an artist, but I'm also an art collector. I love buying art from local artists here in Atlanta in my community. And if I'm out somewhere else and I'm traveling, if I can carry it back, I love to buy art from different parts of the world as well. And so I go to the show, I see this piece, I fall in love with this piece, right? And when I found my classmate, I'm practically pressing my business credit card in his chest trying to buy this piece. And what came out his mouth next, like, I was just blown away. He said, Sharess, I can't take your money. People usually cash at me. And like, my mouth hit the floor, because you're literally turning down a sale because you couldn't take the payment. And I started thinking, like, wow, this must be a really big problem for a lot of artists. Okay. And so as I got to thinking about this, I was like, man, we got to come up with some solutions for this old, slow, hard, and expensive way to sell art. All right. Now, before we get into this, everybody put get paid in the chat. Rule number 1 is get paid. You can't be turning down sales. Okay. So I don't care how you got to get your money. Make sure you get paid. So everybody put get paid in the chat. So we on the same page, understanding that you got to get your coins and you got to be able to sell art. All right. No more turning down sales. Okay. Now, if you can't take payments in 2026, listen, we got to step your game up. If you still using tools like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, listen, these tools can work to get paid. That's the most important thing. But at certain price points, certain collectors don't want to send you $5,000 on Cash App or Zelle. Why? Because they don't get a receipt, right? They don't know if you're going to actually deliver the art. And generally, they don't have any real paperwork or paper trail on the art. And so these are great to get started, but they will limit you when you start selling your art for higher prices. Okay. And then social selling. Put guilty in the chat if you've ever dropped the words, you dropped a photo of your art and said something like email or DM me for price. Just put guilty in the chat. All right. And then if we still taking orders on paper, listen, I'm not going to get you to tell on yourself, but we got to step your game up and present our art in a more professional way. Okay. And then also applying and paying for shows, and then low marketplace or website sales. So we know, man, if you're applying and paying for shows and you're making money, that's cool. Okay. Get it how you live. But some artists, they don't actually want to continue renting out vans and trucks and taking all their art to shows, especially they're not selling any. All right. Same thing with your websites. You may have a website built, but no one is coming and making any money. You don't really know what's going on there. You're not really tracking the details. And so we created artwork to solve all of these problems, to make it easy for you to sell your art to collectors all over the world. And collectors can buy your art with one click. And so we're going to show you a quick demo real quick, but I want to show you, man, Tiara, she said she was so surprised because she uploaded her art and about 30 minutes ago said, I got a notification that one of my pieces sold. Still in shock a bit at how quick the sale happened, but great way to end the night. Thank you, Sharess, for perfecting the app. It definitely is a game changer for us as artists. All right. And so I want to show you a quick demo of how to use artwork to start selling your art, access a global marketplace of collectors that have their credit cards on file so they can buy with one click.
Hey, my name is Sharess May, and I want to give you a quick demo of the Artwork app. So the Artwork app does 2 very simple things. All right. If you are an artist, it allows you to sell your art, get collectors all over the world, and manage all of the most important key metrics in your business. And if you are a collector, it makes it simple for you to buy art with the click of a button and track the value of your art collection. All right. And so I'm going to show you the artist side of the dashboard first, then I'll pause and take you to the collector side. So when you're logged in as an artist and you're on your sales dashboard, you'll see your gross revenue, how many pieces you sold, what's the average price. All right. And this sales graph will show you your sales over any amount of time. Right here, you can set a sales goal. If you set it for $100,000, if you made some sales today, that number will be in blue at the top, and this dial will show you how much you've made. We haven't made any sales today. This is our test account. And if you hover over it, you can see how many sales you made today. And it's really simple to add a new goal as well. As you start making sales, you'll see your top sellers right here. So you see it by name, how many pieces you sold in case you have prints or multiples, and you'll see how much revenue you made from each piece. Right here under your new orders tab, you'll see your latest orders. And so you stay on top of what needs to be shipped out. Down here at the bottom, you'll see your top collectors. So you'll see them by name, how many pieces they own in their collection, and how much money they've invested with you in your art business. All right. And then once you go to your artwork tab, this is where you'll see all of the art that you have listed on the site, ready for sale, and also in the marketplace for collectors to buy with one click. So let's say you want to add art. It's very simple. You click add artwork. You just have to fill out these fields right here. And once you click save, it'll save it. I'm just going to close that. If you want to email it to a collector, you can click share offer, enter your collector's email, send the offer. Email is already pre-written. They can click directly to the link and buy your art. If you like to copy a link, you can copy it as normal and send it via text message or share it on social media. And also, if you want to delete your product, it's very simple and easy to delete. As collectors begin buying art from you, you'll see collectors in your dashboard. So you see all of the information right here, so you can contact with them and follow up with them and make future sales. If you click on that dashboard, you'll see a list of all of the art they purchased from you here. As your orders start coming through, you'll see your order and payment history right here. So you see if they were successful or failed transactions, all right, who bought it, the artwork, the purchase amount, and the date. And then as your money is being in transit to your bank account and deposited, you will also see your payouts here, all right? And so when you want to begin buying as a collector, all you have to do is click switch to collector, and it'll take you to the collection side of the marketplace, all right? And again, this is our test marketplace right here, but I'm going to pause for a moment to show you how simple it is to buy as a collector. So now I'm logged into the app as our test collector. And so you see when art is sold out, it'll be sold out in the marketplace, all right? And you can just scroll through the marketplace to check out all of the art that's available on the dashboard, all right? And so let's say if you want to buy something, it's very simple. You can click buy now. And if we have your card on file, you can choose which card you want to use. If you need to add a new one, you can do that. But let's say we want to select this card. We click confirm order. And it's that simple, all right? It's purchased. And so now if you want to go check your collection, you can click collection, and it'll take you to your collection. You see we just purchased this one right here, all right? So you can see all of your active collection. And as you are buying from artists, you can also see the artists that you're purchasing artwork from, all right? So I'm going to go back to the marketplace real quick. And let's say if you want to add it to your cart, you can add it to your cart. So you want to get a couple in there. And you can easily check your shopping cart and go to the checkout page and buy all of the pieces at the same time. So it's a very simple tool for artists to sell their art, and also for collectors to buy and track the value of their collection as well. All right. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Talk to you soon.
All right, type yes in the chat if you like how simple and easy it is to use artwork. Let me know if you love artwork. You put your heart emojis in the chat. Let me know, all right? So I want to cover a few FAQs as we go through this. So first, artists, you can set your own price, all right? We like to write our art story and drop that in the description, okay? And then collectors can buy multiple pieces at one time, just adding it to their cart. And then we like to add the shipping fee to the art price. So for example, if the price of the piece is $1,000 and the shipping is $100, we'll list it in the marketplace at $1,100. Artists, you can ship directly to the collectors, okay? And then sales are deposited into your bank account quickly. So you get paid in 24 to 48 hours. And then artwork gets a small 10% commission, okay? And so I love to cover all different types of sales, smaller, bigger, because we got a lot of different artists with different skill sets and at different points of their career. All right. So I want to show you Purpose by Jen. She sold that for $1,000, $1,024. Tierra sold Bright Future. Love those pastel colors. And then, man, it's Breathtaking Veil of Night by Christina. Okay. So type yes in the chat if you want to sell art on Artwork. Magdalena, she said, I'm very happy. I sold my first piece in artwork. Many thanks to my new collector right there. And then also, you get these cool notifications when you get paid, man. So it's always fun when you're selling art on Artwork. All right. And so now I've shown you how using the Artwork app allows you to easily sell more art online and keep all of your prices, collector, and business information in one place. Can you see how this saves you time, money, and makes it simple? Type yes in the chat if you can see how this saves you time, money, and makes it simple to sell your art. All right, type yes in the chat. Man, we are rocking and rolling. Want to see them yeses coming through? All right, now, Fluent Artist, man, this is one of the artist's favorite secrets of this presentation. All right, secret number 3, how to find and attract the same buying collectors as Sotheby's using Instagram and AI. All right, type yes in the chat if you're ready to get exposure to high net worth collectors. Okay, type yes in the chat. Okay. So after our first wave of Fluent Artist success, I knew I wanted to help more artists get high income collectors online with AI and online ads. All right. And so let me know if this is happening to you in the chat. It says, I've seen artists struggling to make sales with their posts on social media and inside of art groups because we know likes do not equal money. All right. If you've been posting online and you ain't sold none, put a me in the chat if you know that likes don't equal money. Okay. And then friends and family sales are great, man. So like Tierra sold Galactic Jelly to a friend for $2,000. Mr. Manuel sold this portrait for $500 to a friend in his local church. But sometimes these sales start to run out. Okay. And then we just really need to go get some global exposure. All right. So type global in the chat if you want to expand out of your neighborhood, out of your state, if you want to go to the country or potentially sell art to different collectors around the world. Just put global in the chat for me. Okay. I see some yeses. I see the yep coming through. Now, because of my experience buying ads on social media, I knew there was only one place I needed to go to get ready to buy collectors, and that's Instagram. All right. And so, man, this was working so fast with artists who had never advertised before. Christy said, okay, I'm about to cry right now. On my own way of selling, I would have gotten $200 for this piece. It would have taken me a while to even get that. So I followed the steps of this course. I made an ad. I spent only $7, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7. And she sold a piece for $700, and it only took her a few hours to sell. Type yes in the chat if you like to invest $7 in ads and make a sale for $700 or more like Christy, okay? And so again, put in whatever your price point is and what you can do and what you're selling for, and just think about the return you can get, all right? And so she got a $700 sale in only a few hours of advertising, and she made over $2,350 in her first 3 weeks, man. So shout out to Christy, okay? And so again, artists, always remember, if they can do it, we can too, because success leaves clues, all right? And so Forbes, they posted that Sotheby's had a $363.2 million sale, and that the art market have actually passed the test of the pandemic. And then Business Insider said the art world has gone digital. And for some, that's you and I, that's a good thing, okay? It said Artsy, which is an online art marketplace, saw a 92% increase in e-commerce sales in April, and interest from galleries have increased by 60%. All right, so more collectors are actually going online to buy art. And so if we want to advertise to these collectors in Instagram, it's really simple, okay? So I want you to pay attention to the 2 red boxes. So the first red box at the top left, I want you to start in your country. So it says the United States. We are in Atlanta. Start advertising in your country. It's going to be much easier to handle the shipping logistics. And there are hundreds of millions of people, I'm sure, where you live, or millions for sure, okay? But if you want to expand globally, you can do that as well, as long as the country has Instagram and Facebook ads in that country, all right? And if you look at the bottom red box, it says Sotheby's, all right? So we saw the Forbes article says Sotheby's had a $363.2 million sale, And we know Sotheby's is one of the biggest art brands in the world, selling billions of dollars worth of art. So type yes in the chat if it makes sense for you to target those collectors that spending millions of dollars at Sotheby's. I type yes in the chat. That makes sense for me, okay? If that makes sense to you, we can click this green create ad button in the top right corner, okay? And once we click that green create ad button, it's going to take us to a place called detailed targeting, all right? Everybody type financial in the chat. I type financial in the chat because when we target Sotheby's and we know that they're selling billions of dollars worth of art per year, and we put that financial layer on, we can start to target the collectors that make the top 5% of household income that like Sotheby's. We can target the collectors that make the top 10% of household income and the collectors that make the top 10 to 50% of household income that are spending millions of dollars at Sotheby's, okay? Now, if this is your first time hearing this information or seeing that this is possible, man, put wow in the chat or put the mind-blown emoji in the chat and let me know how you feeling right now, knowing that you can target the high net worth collectors that are already spending millions of dollars worth of art online, all right? Man, this is powerful. This is a game changer right here for artists because you can do this from anywhere in the world as long as you have the Wi-Fi, all right? This would transform your art career if you apply this wisdom, okay? So I want to see some wows and some mind-blown emojis in the chat. And I'm gonna give you a couple other examples to really bring the point home of the power of this, okay? So we all know Art Basel. Art Basel is one of the biggest art fairs in the world, and they do one every December in Miami, okay? And so to go to Miami Art Basel, people got to spend money on travel. So that's flights and hotels. When you get there, you Ubering or you got to rent a car. And then when you get on the ground, you got to eat, you're going to drink, you got to get a ticket to go to the event. My point is people spend a lot of money to attend Art Basel. Then you got to buy the art, right? And so it makes sense to me to target the collectors that's spending all of that money to go to Art Basel. And so we want to target the collectors that's spending money at Art Basel. If we go to the detailed targeting section, we type in that word financial. Now we can target the top 5% of income earners that like Art Basel. We can target the top 10% of collectors that make the most income and the top 10 to 50% of collectors that make the most income that's spending money at Art Basel, okay? This, excuse me. Excuse me, artists. This is a game changer right here for us, okay? I'm gonna give you one more example, all right? So we saw Artsy. We saw the Business Insider article that said Artsy had a 92% increase in e-commerce sales. And so it makes sense for me to target those collectors that's starting to buy all of that art at Artsy. And so we put the Artsy brand in and we go to the detailed targeting section and we type in the word financial. It's gonna allow us to target the collectors that make the top 5% of income that like Artsy. We can target the collectors that make the top 10% of income and the collectors that make the top 10 to 50% of income that like Artsy, okay? And so artists, listen, when we do this, now we have what I call the keys to success. Because when you want a collector to buy art at any price point, they have to have two things. So first, the collectors have to have the willingness to buy art. So that lets me know if you like Sotheby's or Art Basel or Artsy, that you like art, right? So you got the willingness. But as equally important, they need to have the ability to buy art, okay? And so when we put our art in front of collectors with this financial layer, we know that we're targeting collectors that have money, all right? And this type of access changes everything, okay? This is how you can really become an affluent artist and start selling your art at any price point. And so this is working for affluent artists worldwide. So here's Nisha. She was the first artist to sell some art in Indian rupees, all right? So that was really cool. She said, Sharess, your system rocks. I got another celeb lead as a result of my ads, and we spoke on the phone, and that person is willing to buy. Miss Valerie, she's a grandmother. She sold over $3,250 from her ads, okay? So if she could do it as a senior, you can absolutely do it as well, okay? Thank you so much, Miss Stephanie. I appreciate that. And then here's Christy. She spent $45 on ads, and she made $1,400 in a day and a half. Type yes in the chat if you like to advertise and start to get over 800 likes, 200 comments, 100 shares, 300 messages. And most importantly, she got 14 sales and 10 possible collectors that wanted to buy. Type yes in the chat if you love to have the power of advertising doing that, okay? And then here's my guy, Joe. He said, and this happened last night, sold. So my guy, Joe Woods, he sold a $2,000 piece from his ads while he was asleep, all right? Now, if you like to wake up to new sales and new money, put sleep money in the chat. Like I like to wake up to money. You might like to go to work and clock in and get your coins. But I love to wake up to new sales, man. Put sleep money in the chat for me, okay? Because artists are advertising, your art ads are running 24/7, and collectors can see it and buy at any time. All right. And so now I've shown you how to find wealthy, ready to buy collectors with AI and Instagram ads. As an affluent artist, type yes in the chat if you can see yourself using this secret to get high paying collectors. Just type yes in the chat if you can see yourself doing this. I see the sleep money coming through. Let's go. I like waking up the money. I'm glad to see that some of y'all do too. Okay. So artists, so far you discovered how to create your art story to raise your prices. You discover how artwork makes it easy to share your art via text, email, or social. You discover how to sell art to a worldwide collector marketplace. You discover how to get collectors to buy your art with one click. And you discover how to use that financial layering to target high income collectors, okay? And so knowing what you know now, do you feel more confident pricing your art? Type yes in the chat if you got more confidence being able to use your art story to command the price that you want. And are you happy you attended this live class? All right, we are live, all right? Type yes in the chat if you feel like this was a good use of your time, just what you learned so far today. And then do you realize the advantage that you have as an artist using these techniques that other artists don't have access to? Just type yes in the chat. I see the yeses coming through. And can you see yourself using this to sell more art? Just type yes in the chat. And can you see yourself using this to get new collectors, man? Artists are doing this quickly, man. Christy only spent $7 on ads. So many other artists are getting interested collectors coming in 24/7 with this. And would this transform your life? All right, type yes in the chat that if you follow what I showed you in secret number 1 and use any art story so your art sells itself on Instagram, type yes that would transform your life. And then if you did what I revealed in secret number 2, so you can use the artwork app to easily sell more of your art. And then you use secret number 3 to get access to the same high-paying collectors on Instagram that the rich auction houses and galleries attract. Do you think you could be successful? Just type yes in the chat. I see the yes, yes, yes coming through. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. And what if I helped you? All right. Type yes in the chat if you would like my help. You said, I love the art story. Man, thank you so much for saying it. I'm so grateful that you found value in that. And so artists, you got 2 choices, okay? So choice number 1, you can take this information and do what you always do. Now, if you do this, the most likely scenario is you'll continue to get the same results that you've been getting, all right? And so you're here, so I know that you're looking for a new opportunity. And so choice number 2, you can sell your art with us, get handheld mentorship, and our goal is to help you sell $10,000 a month worth of art or more every single month, okay? I know some artists want to start with less than that, some want to do more, but the initial goal is to help you get to 10K, okay? And so type yes in the chat if it's okay if I spend a few minutes going over a very special offer to help you accomplish your dreams, all right? I see the yes, yes, yes coming through. All right, so I want to introduce you to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. It's a fun and easy 5-step system for visual artists to raise prices, get new collectors, and sell $10,000 a month or more worth of art online, okay? And the masterclass has a simple 5-step process. So step number 1 is mindset. That's what we teach you our $1 million artist mindset. Step number 2 is price. That's what we teach you the luxury pricing method. Step number 3 is sold. That's where we show you our cash collector system so you can start selling art before you have to invest money on ads. Step number 4 is collectors. This is where we show you how to create a collector community so collectors buy from you for a lifetime. And then step number 5 is marketing. This is where we teach you that financial layering and how to target those high net worth collectors on Instagram and Facebook ads, okay? And so I want to introduce you to my guy, Christian Lamar, man. He is an affluent artist. And so just listen to his testimony about what happened with him and his art career after he joined the community.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? It's Christian Lamar here, and I'm a portrait artist from VA. Now I just want to tell y'all why I joined the Affluent Artist Masterclass. I went to a great art school and learned from some phenomenal artists, but they never taught me how to sell my work. So after I graduated, I struggled, like, to the point of almost wanting to give up on my dream of being a professional artist. Well, this course changed all of that. It showed me how to turn my art into a business, and most importantly, how to sell online. So now I can sell to anyone, anywhere. And the results are super quick. I made my first sale within 30 hours of starting the program and made just under $1,500 within the first 5 days. And now that I'm in week 4, I've made just over $4,000. And it's super easy to follow. Like, if you're like me and you're ready to fulfill your dreams of being a professional artist, give the program a shot. And you also get to join a community of artists that share their experiences every day of what works. So join me and the family in becoming a fluent artist today. All right. Peace.
Shout out to Christian, man. He was thinking about giving up, and now he's selling art all the time, man. Super happy to be able to share these stories and help artists start selling their art. All right. So again, this works for you if you are a painter, a sculptor, if you do acrylic pours, jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, AI art, drawings, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It literally works for all affluent artists at all prices, okay? And so shout out to Miss Joy. Type yes in the chat if you want to start selling art for $4,000 or more, like Miss Joy in Canada. I love when she put that Canadian cash on the table because we always tell the truth about making sales, okay? We do not tell lies about making money. It's always the truth, okay? And also, artists, this works even if your art isn't ready. So again, I showed you how Jasmine was able to pre-sell her art using the power of her art story, okay? She said, I posted this piece that I'm still working on last night, and I sold a pre-order print 9 a.m. this morning. Gratitude, art story, and organic conversation building relationships really work. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, and that's a $5K value, okay? And then part number 2, we're going to give you an Artwork Gold account, all right? And so I want you to imagine that collectors can buy from you from anywhere in the world, all right? As long as they have Wi-Fi, they can buy your art on Artwork. Jen, she said, I'm so happy and grateful to have sold this piece when she sold Emerges in Power for $2,700. Said she's going to supersize her fries. And I love when collectors get their kids started investing in the art early. And so Miss Yvonne, she sold Spidey Senses to this collector's family, and he almost looks like the painting, man. Such a cool piece right there. I love that picture. And so when you get your Artwork Gold account, you'll be able to accept payments up to $1 million. You can sell art anywhere, in person or online. You'll be able to track your art sales and collectors information in one place. Collectors can buy your art with one click. Collectors will be able to track their net worth in your art, all right? And you'll be able to save money and get rid of some things as well, okay? So if you're paying for a website that's not selling, you can get rid of your website, or you can keep it if you want to, okay? If you're using tools like Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, again, it's good to get in the game, but at certain levels, collectors, they want a more professional experience, all right? And so you can upgrade your tools and your system to present your art professionally. And then if you're paying for tools like Artsy, Etsy, and art storefronts, I showed you how we can target these brands online. And also, especially if they're not selling for you, you can get rid of those as well. All right. Shopify, Artwork Archive, Fine Art America. I know different artists, they load their art to these tools, but they aren't really getting any sales. All right. And the most important savings is that lost time trying to figure this stuff out on your own when you have a step-by-step system. Okay. And so as an artist, when I first started, like I didn't know how to manage my art sales in one place or track how much my collectors spent with for me. And so I also didn't have a global marketplace where collectors could buy my art with one click. So I had to create artwork for myself. And so this is going to save you time and money because 6 years ago, I spent over $60,000 in 3 years to figure out how to create an app to solve this problem for all of us, okay? And so I don't want you recreating the wheel. So I'm going to give you an artwork account with this package so you can skip the cost, the trial, and the error, all right? And so again, Tiara, man, she uploaded a piece and she got a quick notification that one of her pieces sold. She said she was still in shock at how quick the sale happened. So that's what you can look forward to when you join Artwork and get your Artwork Gold account, all right? And even if you aren't tech savvy, that's not a problem. It is really simple and easy to use. We wanted children to be able to use it without an issue, man. So it's really fun and simple to use too. All right, so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get that Artwork Gold account, and that's a $6,200 value, all right? And then part number 3 is the Affluent Artist community. So we have a community, man, a real community where we meet up in person, we talk, we build, and we help each other sell art, all right? And so in our global network of artists and collectors, they love serving you, and we want to see you succeed and win and sell art. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to our private Affluent Artist School community. So this gives you the knowledge, the community, the encouragement, and the motivation you need to succeed in your art career. So you can access the program and the community anytime from anywhere in the world, and you get unlimited support. So you got 24/7 access to the school group. You can post a question in there anytime. Our team or some of the other artists will help you. But also, if you need to talk to a real person, we have a live weekly sales sessions call to make sure that you get all of your questions answered. to make sure that you're selling art, okay? And so the other really cool thing about our community, man, is we have little kids in the community, all right, young artists rather. And so Sanyu, she started when she was 9 years old. Her mother, Miss Jovan, enrolled her into the community. You see, she got that cash and all her sales notifications. And then we also have like seniors in the program, like Miss Phyllis. She was 73 when she joined, and she made a sale in her first week, all right? And so no matter how young you think you are, whether you're doing this for a kid or a relative, or how old you think you are, you can start selling art when you become an affluent artist today, all right? And so just imagine having access to a community artist that really will help you at any time, all right? And so Sean, I love when he posted this lesson learned. He said, follow up every time. You never know why somebody ghosts you. I thought maybe my price was too high for her and she was gone for good. Don't make up your own stories as to why they didn't call back. Just follow up and be polite, all right? That's a powerful lesson right there to help artists keep going in the event a collector is unresponsive. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get the Artwork Gold account, and you'll be able to become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and that's a $7,400 value, all right? And then we got some powerful bonuses for artists that get started tonight as well. So we got that luxury pricing method, and that's a $1,000 value. And so if you're tired of putting time and skill into your art, only for buyers to continue lowballing you or not respecting the true value of your art, this luxury pricing method, man, it's going to transform the way you start to price your art immediately, right? So Christy, she said, holy smokes, I reached out to an old friend and supporter and landed a $1,000 mural job. The system works. I was thinking of asking $800, was hoping for $600, but I boldly asked $1,000 and she didn't hesitate. And she was on this class that you're on right now, and she made $1,350 in the first 5 days after she enrolled and became an affluent artist. And then Jen right here, she just put the crying emoji when she sold this piece for $5,840 right here, all right, using that luxury pricing method. And we showed you how Brescia Jones was speechless because she had sold her biggest piece, a 60 by 48, and it was the highest price point at $6,209 for this abstract piece, Fearless Expanded, all right? And that's all about using that luxury pricing method and that art story, okay? And so imagine your confidence skyrocketing because your art store has collectors emotionally invested in buying your art at any price. So this is your new reality when you become an affluent artist. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to the Artwork Gold account. You get access to the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get access to that luxury pricing method. And that's an $8,400 value, okay? And then bonus number 2, we have our automated collector system. And so this is a pre-built website template that we use to sell your art to collectors online, okay? And so the collector will see your art ad on Instagram. They'll click, they'll come to your automated collector system template, and they can buy your art, all right? So it's really simple and easy. They get on your email list, and they come to you automatically to buy your art. And so this is what Christy was able to do when she joined the program. Again, she invested only $45 on ads, and she made over $1,400 in about 36 hours, man. I was really blown away. The only thing she did wrong was she turned the ad off too soon. When you get an ad that's making money like that, you want to keep spending so you continue to get these sales, okay? And so I know many artists suffer from that feast of famine income where you sell art some months and some months you don't sell at all. I spent years investing time and money testing which art ads and sales pages work best to turn clicks to collectors so you can have collectors coming to you 24/7, all right? And so when we get an endless flow of new, interested collector leads joining your email list and buying your art 24/7, this gives you predictable cash to grow your art brand and collector community while sales come in at the same time. And so if you already have a website that's not selling how you like it, listen, you can keep it or you can get rid of it, okay? But either way, you can use ours to get new collectors coming to buy your art every single day like clockwork. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to the Artwork Gold account. You can become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get that luxury pricing method and that automated collector system. And that's a $9,600 value, all right? And then bonus number 3, one of my favorite bonuses, you'll be able to find high income collectors with me for artists that pay in full today, okay? Pay in full. You can hop on and find your high income collectors with me and we'll set up your art ads. And so I know many artists, they struggle to get exposure to collectors that can afford their art at the price you think is worth. I spent over $250,000 on Instagram ads, figuring out the best way to target buyers with money. And so you get instant access to what's working now with Instagram ads and AI. So again, we're going to be able to use that financial layering to target some of the biggest art brands in the world. And more importantly, to make sure that we're putting our art in front of collectors that have the income to buy it at the prices we want to sell. Okay. And so you'll get exposure to collectors with disposable cash. You'll be able to leverage AI to target the best collectors for your style. And you can predictably get new collectors 24/7 with ads because your ads run around the clock. All right. And when you start targeting collectors that got money, you can start doing stuff like Jen. She said, I got another deposit for a commission of $4,369 commission. Type yes in the chat if you want to start throwing out random numbers for your art and collectors just say, hey, yeah, can we buy it? Right? Type yes in the chat, man. That's what happens when you start talking to people who got the money, okay? And then Jasmine, she set a goal to make $5,000 for the month so she could quit her job. But Jasmine ended up making $5,527 in her first week when she started following this process. I see the yeses coming through. And then type yes in the chat if you're here, you want to sell art for over $10,000 like Isha. All right, type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first and next piece for $10,000. And so she was able to sell this 5-panel custom commission. Man, it's absolutely beautiful. And these are the type of sales you can get when you start targeting collectors that have the resources, okay? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get the Artwork Gold account. You can become a member of the Affluent Artist community. And we got some powerful bonuses for artists that get started tonight, okay? So you're going to get access to that luxury pricing method, that automated collector system. And when you pay in full, you can find your collectors with me. And that's a total value of $10,600, all right? And so artists, if all this did, I see the yes, please. If all this did was help your art tell stories so your artwork truly sold itself. And if all this did was help you easily sell your art online in any economy, all right? And if all this did was help you get an infinite amount of high-paying collectors following you and buying your artwork, how would that help your art career? Type yes in the chat or let me know how that will help your art career. I see the 10K and up. I see the yes, please, the yes with all caps. Let's go, all right? And so artists, putting this program together, I had two choices. First, I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, but that wouldn't really incentivize me to stack the value though, all right? And so the second option required a little higher investment, but in exchange, we can devote more resources and give you more value to really guarantee your success, okay? And so I want to know, what are your dreams worth to you? Because if you are making money every day because you were successfully selling your art to collectors on Instagram, like what would that be worth to you? Put a dollar value in a check, okay? Like how much would one automated collector system sell? How much would you pay to have one automated collector system sell your art online 24/7? All right. And so you can see why artists have paid $10,000 from similar results with me, because when you do business with us, it's not a cost. It is an investment that produces a return. Okay. And so you see why it's worth over $10,000. But even at $5K for the general public, it's still a great deal because we have artists right now selling art for more than $5,000, right? Brescia Jones had a sale for $6,200. Jasmine sold over $5,500 in the first week. Now, because you watch this masterclass and I want to help as many artists as possible, I'm going to give you a very special offer, all right? So when you go to affluentartist.com, you won't have to invest anywhere near the $5K that we normally charge, all right? Now, usually if we give a discount, we usually do about 30%. So you can enroll for $3,500, but you won't have to invest anywhere near that today. When you go to affluentartist.com, we have a special 94% off for only $9.99 when you enroll at affluentartist.com right now. All right. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. Also, if you need a payment plan, we have a more affordable payment plan that's $4.99 one time. Then it's only $50 a month when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. Type yes in the chat. Let me know when you join. I'm going to drop that link right there to make it easy for you to pin. I go to affluentartist.com and enroll. Okay. And so artists are making sales every day with this system. All right. Here's Dwayne with a sale. Sean with another sale right there. Miss Valerie, she's over 50. She made a sale in her first week in the program. There go Miss Phyllis with her sales as well. And then artists, we also do what we call the $1 Million Artist Mastermind. And so this is a $25,000 investment. If you wanted to come to Atlanta, actually get your hand held and meet with the other artists in person so we can set this system up for you, okay? But because you're doing this online and we can present the masterclass over the internet, man, you can join for a fraction of that and still get your hand held with the live sales sessions when you enroll at affluentartist.com. Okay. If you got any questions, just type in the chat. All right. We also got some financial options as well. Stick around. If you got a question about how to get enrolled, just let us know. Okay. After Jasmine joined, she sold $5,500 in 1 week. Okay. By going to affluentartist.com. And her goal was to sell 5K in the month. And so also, if you were to hire an online marketing professional to go back to art school or attempt to get a dealer or gallery to sell work to collectors for you, it might cost you over $25,000, 30 to 50% of your profits doing deals with galleries, or years of your life trying to figure this out. Okay. And so even if you take the pay plan, that's only $1.66 per day to start selling your art online. So that's only like a small Starbucks coffee or a breakfast at McDonald's when you enroll in affluentartist.com. Okay. And so artists, now you got two choices. You can do this on your own, but if you do this, you might get the same results that you've been getting before. Okay. But also you can join the Affluent Artist and get handheld mentorship, and we'll personally help you get to 10K or more art sales every single month when you become an affluent artist at affluentartist.com. All right. And so we're so confident in our ability to help artists just like you sell their art. We have 110% money back guarantee. And so if the Affluent Artist does not help you sell more art and get more collectors, you will have two options. Option number one, you can follow the steps, decide it's not for you, and win 110% of your money back. Option number two, you will grow in your Affluent Artist journey, and you say we will personally help you achieve the $10,000 or more in art sales. Okay. And so why do we do this? We do it for a very selfish reason, and that's because I know it's a win-win. This makes it a no-brainer for you to join, and I know we can help you succeed. And so when you sign up, I know for a fact one of these two outcomes will happen. One, you will get to 10K a month worth of art sales and get new collectors with the automated collector system. Or two, you say, Sharess, man, I tried, I did everything I could. It didn't work for me for whatever odd reason, and you will win $1,100 from us just for trying it out. Okay. And obviously, if you do the payment plan, we'll match 10% of the payment plan when you enroll at affluentartist.com today. Okay. Now, there are a few qualifications for the 110% money back guarantee. So first, you have to earn a 100% completion by watching the Affluent Artist Masterclass. Second, you have to take action on the Affluent Artist Masterclass. And we need you to attend the live sales session every week so we can answer your questions for you. Okay. And then also sell some art, right? Sell art. We want you to start selling art and making money and share your results on social media. All right. And so your profit is guaranteed when you enroll in the Affluent Artist today. So you follow the steps, you can decide it's not for you, and you can win your money back. Or you say, Sharess, no, I actually really want to become an affluent artist. I want to do this full time, and I want to really get my income up. And we will continue helping you achieve 10K a month until you hit it. Okay. And so the real question you got to ask yourself, artist, is this worth taking a few minutes to just check this out? Because even if it does half of what I say today, it will pay for itself as soon as you sell one painting for $1,000. All right. And so you're just one collector away from really transforming your life and your art sales. Okay. One of the things we're going to talk about some different ways that you can afford the program. But one of the things you can do right now is start selling art using your art story. Okay. So many artists use this free class, apply their art stories, make sales, and then they get the investment. Okay. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get that Artwork Gold account. You're going to become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get some powerful bonuses for getting started today. All right. Bonus number one, you get that luxury pricing method. Bonus number two, you get that automated collector system. And then when you pay in full, you can find your collectors with me. And that's a total value of over $10,600. Okay. And so artists, you might be aware of this intentionally blank slide right here. Okay. Because what I'm about to tell you next, we're going to cut it out of the replay, and it's only going to be for you here because you are on live. Okay. And so for the artists that join while we are here on this live webinar, we're going to give you a free lifetime artwork account. Okay. You're going to get a free lifetime account because you showed up live. And so normally the Artwork Gold account is $99 a month, but it's going to be free forever for you. You can upload unlimited art. You'll be able to access collectors globally that have their credit cards on file to buy with one click. And many artists sell art in the first 7 days again. So you're just one collector away. And this is only for the artists that buy live for this lifetime account when you go to affluentartist.com. All right. And so artists, get started now. Go to affluentartist.com. I'm doing a quick recap of the offer. If you got a question, type your question in the chat. We got a special 94% off for only one payment of $9.99. Also, if you need a payment plan, it's only $4.99 one time, then only $50 a month when you go to affluentartist.com to sign up, okay? And so artists are using this to make sales every day. So like my guy, Blue Robin right here got a $300 sale. Diana said, happy Friday when you getting that paper. Here's another sale by Dwayne. Santana got a sale. Mr. Bill got a sale right there. All right. So at this point, I see we got some sign-ups, man, and I'm really excited. Congratulations to the artists that joined. We still got some artists that are still here. And I can tell that you may want to sign up, but you might have a question that you need answered before making that decision. All right. So let's address those questions in the time we have left. If you got a question, please type your question in the chat. All right. Yes, the program does help you with pricing your art, right? We talked about the luxury pricing method. We're going to give you some serious bonuses to help you charge your worth and get paid for your art, okay? And so I want to answer a few questions. If you got a question, type it in the chat, all right? And we're also going to talk about some financing options as well. So one, what if I already have a website? So if you aren't making sales on your website, you can send all of your collectors to Artwork and use our automated collector system so you can eliminate hosting costs and those monthly fees, okay? Do collectors need an Artwork account? Collectors can buy as a guest, but we encourage them to get an Artwork account so they can track their art collection. How do I afford the investment? So this is a big question. So again, you can use what you learned tonight for free. Use that art story to start pre-selling your art even before your original may be done, okay? And so it's very, very simple. Just post your art like you normally do, but this time include your art story with a call to action to buy. All right, and whatever tool that you're using, whether you're selling over the phone, you're selling direct to a collector with the link, just include that call to action and you can start making sales to get the investment that you need to become an affluent artist, okay? It's a very popular way, and I show you proof right here how Jasmine did it as well. Some artists want to know, how do I make the time? So listen, Brisha Jones, she's a single mom, and she figured out how to make the time to sell this commission for $2,572. And so one of the things that we do to make the time is create what we call a success block, okay? So a success block is simply waking up earlier in the morning than you normally do to work on your art business, all right? And so the power of this is you give the most refreshed and best version of yourself to your art career before you start taking care of friends, family, and your job, right? If you do it on the like the opposite way, how most people do, you know, you go to work, you're taking care of everybody else all day, and then when you get home in the evening, you're tired, right? And that's what you're kind of devoting to your art career, and that's why you stall. And so one of the best ways to make the time is set a morning success block and really work on your art goals so you can hit the revenue that you want, okay? Some artists want to know, can I do this from anywhere in the world? So yes, as long as you have Wi-Fi, you can actually sell art from anywhere in the world, just like Miss Joy did right here. She's in Canada, okay? And then some artists want to know, what if I'm just getting started? So I actually think that's the perfect place to be, because if you're just getting started, you don't have any bad habits to unlearn, okay? And one of my favorite stories to illustrate how it's never too early to get started. When Tiara, she became an affluent artist, and she helped her sons start selling art, right? They were really inspired by their mom selling art. And when they were 2, 5, and 7 years old, she actually taught them our process, and they set a goal to make $250 in art sales, but her children made over $500 in art sales, man. I'm so proud of this because this can really transform their entire life. Like, imagine if you had somebody invest into you when you were young and teach you how to sell your art, and you start making money at 2, 5, or 7 years old. Like, your entire life and career could have been different, all right? So if you're just getting started, you are absolutely in the right place, okay? Some artists want to know, is the process too hard or technical? So Miss Valerie, she was 68 years old, and she sold over $10,000 in her first 4 months, all right? And so if a 68-year-old senior grandmother could do it, you can as well when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right, so artists, man, you got to figure out how to get the resources or be resourceful to get what you want in life, okay? So when Miss Stacy was on this class, she was struggling financially as well, but she was resourceful and she figured out how to get the income, okay? And she said, yes, it works. She said, I made my call to a friend that said she wanted these paintings when they are done. I called her and told them they are done. She could buy 1 for $250 or 3 for $6, and she took all 3, okay? And just with Miss Stacy being resourceful and finding a way to make the investment into herself and becoming an affluent artist, that success starts to compound, and that confidence gives you more exposure. And so eventually she actually got invited to do the opening reception of a new hotel in Phoenix with this with this exhibit, Escape, Landscape, Cityscape, and Mindscapes, okay? And so once she decided to be resourceful and figure out how to get the investment, man, her career and the opportunities just start to open up for her, right? And so some artists want to know, is there too much competition? Man, listen, absolutely not. If you know real art collectors, they buy all different types of art from a lot of different types of artists, okay? Again, I'm a collector as well, and I look around the house, I like every piece in here is from a different artist, all right? There's enough opportunity and abundance for all of us to be successful, okay? And then some artists want to know, what is the artwork commission? Again, it's only 10%. And more importantly than that, you get to keep all of your collectors' data so you can go direct to them and make a sale. And so normally galleries and dealers, they usually take 30 to 60% of the sale, and they don't give you the collector data because they don't want you to cut them out of the deal, okay? We actually want you to build a lifelong relationship with your collector. And so we give you all of that information when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? What budget do I need for ads? So you can get started with as little as $5 per day, all right? You don't have to invest a lot to start seeing results. So I showed you how Christy, she got started with $7, and she made a sale for $700, all right? That doesn't happen all the time for everybody, but you can get started with these small $5 a day ads, okay? And so artists, listen, being a full-time artist 100% beats working a 9 to 5, all right? Here's Mia right here with a $2,000 commission for doing this piece for a 2-year-old bedroom, all right? Collectors will spend when you targeting the right collectors. And so we want to help you become a full-time affluent artist when you enroll at affluentartist.com. And it's really that community support that creates the success habits, all right? There's something powerful that happens when you see other artists selling art, you're inspired by what they're doing. And it's like, man, if you can do it, if you can sell for that price, I know I can, okay? So when you become a member of the Affluent Artist, you're going to be surrounded by winners that are motivated to sell, and they want to see you succeed and win, all right? And so I know if you've been searching for information on how to sell art online, whether you've been Googling stuff, looking on YouTube, searching on Instagram, reading books, you know information alone is not enough. You need structure. You need a system. You need a community of people supporting you. You need mentorship and guidance and someone to hold your hand and get your questions asked and answered, okay? And so if you want to start getting booked and busy like Toya, go to affluentartist.com and enroll today, all right? And so artists, as we close out, if you got any questions, type your question in the chat. But you really got to ask yourself, do you want money or do you want excuses? And so Jonte, he said he wanted to make money. And so he started selling pieces for $2,000 or more, like this lamb piece that he sold to this collector, okay? And so I know there's a lot of reasons why you may not think you can join, but if you really want money, we got to have an attitude of finding a way of making one, okay? So you can become an affluent artist today. And one thing I want you to really assess is the true cost of inaction. Because what if I helped you just start selling just one piece per week, all right? Would it be worth $1.66 per day? Of course it would, right? That's a drop in the bucket. But the true cost that you got to weigh is, what's the cost of inaction? What does it cost you to procrastinate for another week, another month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months for the rest of 2026, right? What does that procrastination cost you? Because every month that you don't take action and decide that you're going to invest into yourself becoming a fluent artist, those are months that you'll be actually missing out on sales opportunities, okay? And so you got to ask yourself, is it really worth missing months of art sales because you're trying to save $1.66 per day, all right? Because if you follow just one of the steps I shared on today's event, you can make a profit in the first week when you enroll at affluentartist.com. And so another way that you can get the investment is you can talk to your friends and family. Like once you have a plan and you show people that you have a system, people are much more willing and able to invest into you as well, okay? So ask your friends and family to see if they can help you out, all right? Miss Valerie and Sherris, when they joined, they both made sales in the first week, all right? And so you can get access to this system when you go to affluentartist.com. Also, some artists like to have PayPal invest into you, okay? So PayPal has a great offer with PayPal credit. You can go and see if you get approved at paypal.com/credit to apply, and you will know within 60 seconds if you are approved. This is a really good option because they have no payments and no interest if you pay it in full in 6 months. And so you can join Affluent Artist today, enroll with PayPal, start using this system, start selling art, and then you can pay PayPal back without paying any interest, okay? So a lot of artists use this method as well. It's a great way to get started to invest into yourself, okay? And so artists, the time is now, man. We're excited to get you started. Enroll at affluentartist.com. If you're ready to start selling your art like Raquel, she said, after actively implementing the wisdom that I learned without negotiation or hesitation, this collector purchased this piece at my $1,200 asking price. I am beyond grateful for the knowledge and the quick turnaround. All right. So it absolutely flat out works when you join and enroll at affluentartist.com. So let's accomplish your dreams together. All right. Because I know as a fellow artist that your struggle with selling art can be real. But when it's gone from your life, like, how will you feel about that? How much better will your life be? Just think about that for a moment. Like, how much stress does working a job and never having enough money causing your mind and your body right now? Because after you join, it's gone. It's like poof. Let me know if you can feel that difference, all right? Because it starts by going to the link below and joining now at affluentartist.com, all right? And so I'm going to walk you through the checkout process, but let's go ahead and get started below at affluentartist.com. Let me come out and walk you through the checkout process. So when you go to affluentartist.com, it's going to bring you to our checkout page, all right? And so you see, you still have a few days to take advantage of this offer before the price goes back to the normal price, okay? And so we're going to do a quick recap of the offer. We talk about your 110% money back guarantee. And all you got to do is put in your name, your email, your phone number, your shipping address, and then choose which payment plan you want, all right? If you want to pay in full and get that pay in full bonus and get the 94% off, you can choose that. If you like to do the payment plan, you can choose the payment plan as well, okay? And then if you like to add a fast start success call to your order, just check that box and our team will talk to you personally about jump starting your art sales so you can get started selling right away, okay? And so it's really simple and easy. You can either use PayPal at checkout or you can use your credit or debit card as well, all right? So just enter your 16-digit card number, your expiration and your yearly, and then enter your 3-digit CVC, enter your country and your zip code, okay? And then you can also save your information and click join now. Once you click join now, check your email for your receipt and also access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, the community, and artwork, all right? So it's really simple and easy to order, okay? And so I'm going to come back and do one last recap of the offer. If you got a question, type your question in the chat. And if I don't see any questions, we're going to get out of here, okay? All right. And so we just talked about some ways that you can get started just to get the capital, to get the investment to join. But for the artists that are ready to rock and roll, get started now. All right. Go to affluentartist.com. Once you join, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get some powerful bonuses going to help you start selling art quickly. All right. So you get that luxury pricing method so you can price your art for what it's worth. You're going to get that automated collector system. So you will have a new website that's already pre-built for you to get interested collectors on your email list and to come to buy your art. And then for artists that pay in full, you'll be able to hop on to find your collectors with me. All right. We're going to set up your art ads, and I'm going to show you how to target those high net worth collectors with that financial layering as well. All right. And so that's a total value of over $10,600. But you can get started today for a special 94% off for $9.99 when you go to affluentartist.com. If you need a payment plan, you can join for $4.99 one time, and then it's only $50 a month when you enroll at affluentartist.com. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. Again, you can text JOIN to 470-777-7549. All right. I don't see any other questions, so we're going to get out of here. Man, peace and much love to everybody. I hope y'all have a great evening. For all the artists that enroll, congratulations. We're excited to see you on the inside. For everyone else, this replay will be available for a little bit over 3 days. So you do have a little bit of time to take advantage of this special 94% off when you go to affluentartist.com. All right. So everybody have a great night, and we'll see you all on the next time.